let's go ahead and look at the big results, the big picture here in the NASCAR standings, because NBC has definitely let us know that there is a playoff picture coming up. And with that, we have a new regular season points leader. And the playoff cut line has changed just a little bit. It's gotten a little bit tighter with just another win now. 10 winners now, 9 races to go. And Chase Elliott is your new regular season points leader. 7 top fives in his last 11 races. For all the talk we had at the beginning of this year of Chase Elliott and this next gen car doesn't get along, that 9 team is dialed in right now. And are the wins coming and the laps really being led? No. But listen, he's getting results and he's getting finishing results. And that's really what matters at the end of the day.
This is the most Chase Elliott way to be leading in points. It's just so quiet, so understated. Like, of course, the only people who are going to really let you know about this are all the Chase Elliott fans. And believe me, there is a contingency of them, as we all know. It's the sport's most popular driver. But yeah, it's been quiet. It has been anything but flashy. It's just kind of been consistent. And, I think you've seen it in the NBA with Kawhi Leonard. You'll hear it all over. The board man gets paid. And it just seems like that's what's happening here with Chase Elliott. It's not spectacular. It is not flashy. But my, oh my, is it consistent. You have to respect the consistency because obviously everybody else is looking up at him. Even if you haven't really had to see the back of his bumper at the front of a race or anything like that, he's finding a way to piece together the performances in such a way that everybody's got to look up at the standings towards him. So you got to tip your cap to him.
And like I said a minute ago, 7 top fives in the last 11 races. And what is in those 11 races at? It's a variety of tracks, road courses, short tracks, intermediates, super speedways, a little bit of everything. So when the playoff time comes around, that's what matters is can you win on different circuits, especially with the way the playoffs have really shaken out the last few years and the way the schedule is.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. Chase Elliott is the playoff leader, right? Or the regular season leader. And with that, if you win the regular season championship, you get those extra playoff points. Kyle Larson's in second right now. And, for all the talk about, well, he got the waiver granted. Should he get the waiver? Should he won't? Really, you could look at the punishment of the Coke 600. If he misses that Coke 600, that could be the difference in the regular season championship. That's 25 playoff points. That is a massive difference. Kyle Larson's already suffered enough, if you ask me, because this could be the difference in him winning the regular season championship or not with his teammate Chase Elliott. Now, on the other aspect, Ad, you've got some Cup champions that don't look as peachy. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott look great. Joe Logano, Kyle Busch, not so much. It's getting a little tight down there, huh?
Certainly. I think if you're Joey Logano, you certainly are. You're sweating. You're not losing your beautifully transplanted hair over it. Don't get me wrong, but you're definitely starting to think, okay, when is this going to come? If you're Kyle Busch, you're balding, and you need to wear a hat anytime you're in public at this point because everything that can go wrong is going wrong for that team. I don't know, and I almost blame myself today because I just mushed him that hard because he had a really good day until he didn't. So. But yeah, it would be very odd because right now, if the playoffs started right now, Joey Logano and Kyle Busch aren't in the playoffs, which if you would have said that to me at the beginning of the year, I certainly wouldn't have had it on my bingo card. That being said, I think, I don't know about you, Bob, you can weigh in here quickly, but I'm definitely more worried about Kyle Busch than I am Joey Logano. That seems to be a very safe thing to say, right?
100% for two different reasons. And I'm with you, Ad, because you look at the actual playoff bubble itself, and Joe Logano's only 6 points out right now. He's only 6 points out of Bubba Wallace, and then he's 33 behind Chris Buescher. The last 2 spots are still very attainable. Then it gets a little weird with Alex Bowman. He's 66 above the good, so he's in a good spot right now. But for Joe Logano, he's still got a couple spots that are okay. Now, as that playoff cut line gets tighter and tighter, and the more winners happen, because it's still going to happen, you're going to have more winners. That's when it gets a little sweaty. But for Logano, there's a lot of tracks that are still coming up. Atlanta, Daytona, the short tracks are still okay. I'm not as worried about Joe Logano as Kyle Busch, who, you look at the last 3 races we said he's got a top 10 car at Gateway, at Sonoma, and today at Iowa he did too. And what did he have in all 3 of those races? Issues that mired him, self-sustained issues, race issues, mechanical issues, whatever happens. Days that you cannot have when you've circled and said, okay, we have to get something out of these days. This is when we know we're going to be good. RCR just hasn't had that consistency this year. And for Kyle Busch to be 31 points now under the cut line with another DNF today, I mean, yes, maybe he will just magically win his way in, but right now, I just don't see the consistency from RCR to think that they can win right now.